Hello guys, can you hear me? Sound check, sound check. Do you hear me? I hope so. Great. I wasn't sure. My one of my hard drive died on me. Only 1 year old. SSD Samsung Evo 870. Quite new drive, but it just completely died on me. Couldn't get it back to life. So I got some content on it, partly on the stream. So wasn't sure everything was working. I need another one indeed. Great. Things seems to be working at least. Yeah, I was Googling that because it was a strange issue. All of a sudden my computer just stopped responding, and I checked in my task manager, and that drive was on 100% activity without any read or writing. My whole computer just messed up due to it. I could get a recovery program to find 900,000 files blocks, bad blocks, and I saw a few other having the 100% activity load issue on the internet, but no solution, so it looks like it's just bricked. But anyway, that's that. How are you all doing tonight? Getting some heat in Sweden finally, so it's a little hot in here. So if you hear my fans, my computer fans. Hello everyone. Looks like you got some sun. I did get some sun indeed. I've been trying to get some D vitamins whenever the opportunity arises here in Sweden, which is not too often around a year. I'm glad you guys are also good. Still waiting in Meduli. Said a crow. I told you to wait. I'm coming back. We're gonna pick it up where we left it, alright? Can get a place in the character sheet where it lets us know where our home priest is set. That's a pretty good suggestion, Lu Hodo. Good suggestion. So I think that could be helpful, yeah. So let's see where we can place that one. And thanks for the rates and welcome everyone. So little updates on the usual. A little too much rain in the moment at Norrköping. Yeah, weather is not super in Sweden, that, you know, but we have to be happy whenever the sun shows. Florida, that's a nice hot place. So we're getting closer to our Necro patch. As you know, we've done some sneak peek on my previous stream showing some of the spells. And as I mentioned last time, we don't want to show everything, I still think, on actual spirit ritual parts, which is the other part of Necromancy. I do have a little sneak peek to show some of the cool art the guys have been producing though, related to that. Yeah, the server cap have been worked on pretty much non-stop by network engineers since release. So that's been huge upgrades there, updates in the software to be ready for our next upscaling as well. There will be more information regarding these steps. So we've done a huge transformation in the company, the latest period, and it's very important that we can have a effective working environment and procedures to make sure that we have secured solid content in any of our upcoming feature and patches overall. We're preparing for, as I mentioned a bit before, to pick up where we kind of left up quite abrupt during the first release of the game. We paused everything, as you may know by now, and we are planning to pick that up again when we kind of step into the release on Epic Games. That is a good milestone for us, where we have focused heavily on core content stability, server capacity, and main focus on all the bugs that have been reported since. That is frustrating for all players sooner or later. We have put that list together, broken it down in pieces, and made a schedule to make sure we can cover those. We strongly believe that as long as the game feel polished and bug free, and there's no severe issues that kind of, you know, make the experience worse. That's very important that we get those in under control. So yeah, we have the Necromancy patch, which is our, I would say, the biggest feature patch right now, the one upcoming. But this is also why we're taking our time on this patch. We don't want to rush it out. We want to make sure it is stable when we deliver it. And moving from there forward, every single patch will be quite different in our working environment since compared to all the previous ones. So we worked very hard on identifying different types of bottlenecks and issues in the development and testing procedures and securing the whole development phase. And we also expanded the team, as you may know, and along with having more developers, it's important that we have a efficient working structure. So we spent quite a bit of time of just putting that all together, refining it, making sure everyone is, you know, on point in our new working environment. And also, since we are, you know, slowly moving over to Unreal 5, which also requires a little bit of a different structure in our working environment as well compared to how we worked on things in Unreal 4. So so there will be, like I mentioned, a main focus, I would say, moving forward, starting with Necromancy patch that is heavily focused on all the bugs that have been reported since release. We do have some features and content, but as I said, the first period is main focus on everything involved of polish and gaming experience. And then we will present the upcoming roadmap without any specific dates, just where you can see what kind of order and in what order you can expect what areas and features also over time. So that's a little bit of that update. So yeah, I hope that makes sense also. And you know, obviously, like I said, we're slowing down a little bit on content and features also due to the main focus on polishing. But I think most of us here agree that bugs needs to be handled and we need to do it efficiently. Good day, good day. Why work on content at all? No, like I said, main focus is polish and improving everything we have, focus on that, and stepping over to Unreal 5 also requires a lot of work for the whole team, actually, not only the coders, but also artists. There's quite a few assets, pieces in the game that we're using that needs to be transformed into supporting some of the tech in Unreal 5. So there will be a, like I said, main focus on everything we have and improving what we have first of all. Volunteer devs, only more work and more bugs. What do I mean with volunteer devs? We only have hired developers in the team. So yeah, Necromancy next. It's a big patch, and we're taking our time to make sure it's solid, stable, and polished, and as balanced as possible. Let me catch up on getting a little behind in the chat here. Sorry, guys. We're planning to put a statue of King Barados in Fabernum. we'll see when you will be able to sculpt your own statues down the road in some of the upcoming TC content. You will have some of those options for your cities. And can have guild tags to be rendered. The distance rendering guild tags will be updated when we are fully done with the server optimization and capacity that we work on now. So it goes a little bit hand in hand with the whole LOD system for the network parts. That's why we're not, starting in the opposite direction in terms of adding cost to the capacity until we have the cost fully covered and improved until we're on a happy state where we can start pushing some of those stats. That's a great game. Amulet drops more often than rings. Now we have a lot of shit amulets. Maybe in the future we'll be able to merge useless amulets from 2 into 1. Yeah, like I said, we are following the drop rate stats with the trinkets. We want to make sure we don't have them dropping too often, too frequently, and too powerful. It should be the opposite, as in a controlled drop ratio, and obviously the high one tiers which wear gems should slowly enter the game rather than fast. But you can expect to see some tweaks connected to those drop ratios in upcoming patches as well. All right, so we take a little look at our upcoming ritual system. Got like 100 trinkets. 98 of them were red corals. Yeah, the red coral gems are the common ones, for sure. All right, let's take a little look on ritual stuff that we are refining now as well. So let me show you some of the arts that we are finalizing as we speak. All right, so there's a few components with the ritual system. So there are a few. One is constructible rituals, portable rituals, just like any portable bench out in the world, for instance. So it's a basic component to start doing your rituals. And then there are another tier which allows you to build a more sturdy version for your house with a very small bonus as well. And then there's a third in some cases, and they are out in the world at specific locations, and they may be more ancient and have more power bonuses to them. So those are the three types, and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. So, all right, this is the user interface. So this, let me start in another way. So here is a portable normal ritual kit table, whatever we call it. So this is something you can place anywhere in the world to access it, to start building your own creatures. And this, when you access this ritual in the world, this is the kind of user interface you will get. Damn, Necro Junk, full killer. That's right, it's not the stream for you today, eh? The Necro Ritual sneak peek. That's one of the topics. So there will be two different types: a normal ritual table and a two-black ritual table. And the two-black ritual table is a specific recipe creature, as you may know by now. And the ritual table is more the way to raise any of the dead creatures in the whole world. So, for instance, raising a troll again, or a minotaur, or pretty much any creature in the world, with a few exceptions. So as you can see, there's a few components that is required. We have the slots with carcass, the actual carcasses that you want to raise again. And then there's a modifier carcass slots, and then there are two specific components modifiers like artifacts and gem types that will also further alterate your pet's stats and attributes in different ways. And you always need a ritual candle as well in these components. And as you can see, the two-black gets a little bit more advanced, so you have to experiment with that in a more specific way to get a two-black going. So while this is the first tier that can be constructed anywhere in the world, you can also buy this one to place in your house, for instance, and it will have a little bit more efficiency compared to the portable one. And then, as I mentioned, there is a third one, for instance, that may look like this, and as you can see, it's a little bit more elaborated. And this is the one that you can find in the world, but you won't be able to construct this one on your own. So as you can understand, it's a risk to go here to build your specific creature, since it's maybe in dangerous lands and other players, whatever may be there. But there's a chance for it, at least, to try to use some of those. And then we have the two-black version. As you can see, it looks a little bit different, have some different components. And you can also construct this one in your house, which looks like this. So a few different components to build that specific necro pets. And also, like I mentioned, there's a third one for this one as well. Somewhere out in the world, high risk, but also a little rewarding return for using these out in the world. So those are the starting ritual kits that you can obtain and find and experiment with when we deliver the Necro patch. Can a Necro ritual area be used by other Necros or Necro builder only? So you do have to have the necessary skill set and ingredients to use these tables. We can't place on roofs yet. We may add support for that later, but for now you need to use the floors inside any house, stronghold, or keep. Will any element of Necromancy force the player to become grey flagged? So when you create these pets, they are not welcome in any city. So if you bring a Tupilak or any raised pet for that matter into a town, the town guard will react and attack that creature. And since you are the owner, they will also attack you. So you shouldn't wander into a city with guards with your Tupilak to show it off, because it will be whacked. So you have to, plan where you want to stable such creatures. So, as I mentioned before, we are not gonna say any dates. As I mentioned, it's much more important that we deliver something that is polished and bug-free, so the experience can be as good as possible, rather than rush things out to try to keep deadlines that we, put out as estimates. If we see any issues while we're on testing phase and we have to postpone due to fixing those bugs, it doesn't go down well, right? People will be upset and annoyed with delays such as that. So it's better that we don't say any dates or promise any specific delivery dates, rather than make sure it works, and you will get an announcement and information, obviously, when we will go live. So there's a small difference between the different tiers of the tables, giving the pet a little bit more juice, pretty much. That is a balance part now as well, so I can't say exactly what we're gonna look at, what kind of ratios, but there will be a small reward for using the ancient ones out in the world that may, be close to danger, and also by other players. Or you can just build your own in your house, or use a temporary one out in the wild to build a pet, but it will get a little bit less power that the different tables will give. Yeah, so Tron Live, as I mentioned, we are heavily focusing on bugs and polishing starting now as well. So we will slow down a little bit on big features while we focus on building some of those, fixing those bugs and issues. One of them is the different heights on houses. It's very annoying. So obviously we need to fix that one as soon as we can. So it's on our list for sure. The invisible weapon one is also one, for instance. What creature left the bones? It's quite a large table. The scale should be correct in terms of what creature or humanoid it may be. Necromancy attackable by blue players without penalty of going grey. That is some of the balancing factors we're going through now to see, so it fits and makes sense in terms of law and order and hostility, but also at the same time, you can invest quite a lot of effort into building your pets, just as tamers or and breeding in the future as well. So those are some of the balanced things we are going through currently. Yes, almost every patch includes some points of interest and updates in the whole world as well. So I can go through. So this is the portable Tupilac table. This is the house constructed table. And then the third tier out in the world in ancient locations. We're getting closer to the patch, but again, I don't want to give any estimates because we want to make sure it's working as good as possible. I promise days, but over a few days, weeks, a month away. It's not months, I can say that at least. We're getting closer and closer. But yeah, like I said, we really want to get it right. So that, everyone feels that great, a stable patch and we can enjoy it at fully without anything missing or such. It's, it gets annoying in the long run if we add too severe bugs along with new content. Sunburn. I'm not sunburned at all. It actually, I get a red tone here. I haven't figured it out yet why, if it's a filter on in the camera software or anything. I use multiple filters and functions to get it going like this in OBS, and I have noticed a little red tone, but I'm not burnt. I actually rarely get burned by the sun. Any certain types of necromancy pests that won't get you attacked by guards? No, pretty much all undead creatures is a horrible monster that the guards won't allow to enter any city. So if you wanna invest in a more expensive, elaborated pet creature, you should be sure to be able to or plan where you can stable those without interfering with guards. No, I haven't done a giveaway yet. When is patch? As soon as we are comfortable releasing it. So this will be delayed. So as I mentioned, we strongly believe that we need to fix these bugs and issues that are, pushing players away eventually because of the annoyance of them. So obviously, the more time we need to spend on polishing and fixing, obviously that also takes some time away from working on new content and features. But like I said, we're here for the long run. We are planning to stay here for many years. So we strongly believe that whenever we do deliver a highly anticipated feature that gives a lot of interesting gaming experience, but also adds a lot of risk and reward and things fighting for, I think it's much better to make sure it's solid, it's balanced, it's polished, and it has a solid core foundation rather than try to really rush, because we know a lot of players are waiting on TC and sieging, etc. That is a constant pressure for sure. We know that, and we do want to offer it also as soon as possible, as mentioned. But like I said, we're pretty sure that everyone out there will prefer to have it solid, well thought through and tested, and working and being fun, rather than getting some pieces missing or something a little bit unpolished or things like that. So yeah, like I said, we can't really set any dates on these features. we will, discuss the further we goes and show our progression and give updates. But we won't really, state any dates. We're killing the game with not fixing bugs. Yeah, that's what I've been saying now for the last 20 minutes. We are heavily focusing on that. That is why we're getting big features and content later on. Will the server be able to hold up more than 1.5k people? It already does, and we are not, we're gonna surpass that with, quite amount, and we are not done with it yet. We are working on that next to core polishing of the game, and we are making every preparation in place to make sure that whenever we start the second wave of marketing, releasing on Epic Games, and reaching those important milestones, picking up all the activities to make awareness and promoting the game once again. Obviously, we know how important it is that we can support enough players that are willing to enter the game, so we don't get into a similar situation as we were in our first release session. So we are looking into having a proper setup to support a lot of players and how we can also scale when needed. And depending on the last steps we're doing on the overall capacity, obviously we need to make some decisions to see is it enough and what kind of impact it may have depending on how we are starting more servers, etc. But yes, we're working on that and making sure that we can cover a bigger wave coming back and new players joining the game as well. It's very important, obviously, that we make sure we have a proper plan this time around when pushing it again. When will the bugs be fixed? So we, as I mentioned, we have put together a very good list based on pretty much all bug reports since release, identified pretty much all of them, gone through them, and we have a solid list of the ones that we absolutely need to fix before we enter our next milestone and such. So it will be a few patches where we focus on polishing pretty much only, bug fixing. There will be minor improvement and small features, but the main focus initially, at least in the first patches, will be fixing anything that are breaking the gaming experience for players. So that's what you're gonna see in upcoming patches. No, you won't be able to modify your existing creature. You would have to let it go to create a new one. Kind of weird on the silence on TC and sieging. No, as I mentioned before, of course, I would like to want to have TC and sieging just as much as you guys. We know it's a high popular feature. But like I said, if we have big bugs like, imagine if you have a siege in a war and someone is running up in the air, someone is running down in the ground. That's a severe bug that will put any player's view on the game off, right? And that's bad for the game. It will just show that why haven't we fixed that, and we just keep adding cool features, but how cool and fun are those if something connected to it runs poorly or damages the game experience, right? So hopefully that makes sense, that we need to fix those things for everyone to fully enjoy what the game has to offer, right? But Necromancy, does it take to take down a terror bird? Depends on whatever you do. You know, you have some anti-pets spells, so you can gimp the pet, or you can just make a terror bird counter and throw it on it. There would be options. Is next week out of the table for a patch or a possibility? I don't dare to go there, Psycho Shroom. I will just get bashed if I miss any of my estimates. Understandable so. So as I said, we will patch it when we feel it's ready. 2PLX be able to damage buildings. So along with TC and also along with some of the AI work and improvement we're doing, there will be some different supports for pets affecting things or AI affecting things, like a troll that you are hitting and then running into your house. That troll may be hitting your house and actually damaging it. We do have to be obviously very careful about if you can make a pet and just send it on a house and it damages that house over time. That's something we are very sensitive or careful with. So we don't want to allow something that is free damaging assets, if that makes sense. You have to use proper CG mechanic, and along with the proper CG mechanic comes a cost and investment for the players. And that is the cost and investment you have to decide if it's worth taking down someone else's assets. Yeah, we have been rebuilding on the Healing Clade XP system. I think it's done. It just need to go through heavy testing so we don't have any issues in it. So it will come back sooner rather than hopefully later. Almost like it's blood on your skin. What? Am I that red, guys? My monitor doesn't look that bad. Do I look red? I'm gonna jump down a little bit again. I'm falling way behind. I know. Great work, best medieval MMO what I've seen. Thank you very much. And it will be even greater. This year is... I think this will be the year of Mortal Online to really going there where it deserves to be. We have a very exciting, solid plan for the coming months. And like I said before, we want the game and content, the patches, to speak for itself. We invested a lot of time and effort now in the team, while we also expanded on it, added a whole new working environment and system and structures, and everyone feels very motivated and excited to see this is finally, being refined. And the plan is that will also show in our upcoming patches. Game focus on quality of life while fixing bugs. Yes, that swap, exactly that one, is on the list. So we put together quality of life fixes that we know they're not, huge systems. Small but very good quality of life functions is on this list, along with all those main bugs that are reported and are affecting players in a negative way. So, yes. And needs for domination. That skill is also on this list. I can't say again in what patch they are coming. As I said, we have a few main patches that are heavily focusing on fixing things, polishing things, and some quality of life, and some minor feature maybe in some of these as well that are, you know, good in different ways. And then we have specific features that are a little bit larger as well that we're getting closer to whenever we have gone through those first bad bugs. How's the switch to UEFI going? Will Lumi be implemented or is it too demanding? So we've done more steps and sessions in that, and we have great news. And that is that most likely we have a way to use lumens and we will have good performance and it will look freaking amazing. But again, I can't mention any exact data in terms of this performance, etc. But like I said before, performance is very important for us in this game. We want to support large battles without wrecking the performance. But obviously, we want to make use of the new tech in Unreal 5, and it looks quite promising currently. When we have got a little bit further, it's gonna take a while. We plan to show some of that, and hopefully it will blow your mind away when seeing Mortal 9 going from a damn good looking game to insane level. And devs are looking into expanding this company with, and how long with the support of current cash flow? You know, we don't have a set exact number what we're looking for exactly. You know, we are still a small team compared to the most other MMO developers out there. But as soon as we start growing and getting just a few new developers, quite a bit get put on some of our main developers because of, you know, introducing them into the specific systems, and many people get involved when it comes to introducing new developers depending on what position they are in. But yeah, we are still, you know, looking for talents and developers that specifically have the skill set of what we may, you know, be expanding in as well. But like I said, we're also careful because now when we heavily focus and put all our devs, obviously also including the core devs, the seniors that have been here since day one, to make sure we polish and fix all that annoying in the game, which means that is less time educating new developers, and, you know, having efficiency with new developers takes some time. And since we are heavily focusing on removing those bastarda bugs, we're careful in expanding too much to, you know, lose control over that focus. So slowly but steady is what we're looking at here. Small team, 2 developers. No, we're actually 38, 37, something around that now. So slowly but steady growing. And along with that comes a huge change. As I mentioned before, we have a whole new working environment structure in place because of the challenge of having more and more developers. Initially, the first year when it was just a handful of developers, it was so easy just to know exactly what's going on, who does what, how we communicate. But as soon as you add more and more developers, that slowly change, and it changes drastically over a certain number. There are like different steps where it completely changes. And we have, kind of taken one of those steps for sure. Yeah, the clade healing is on the list. I think it's done. It just need to go through heavy testing, Angry Aussie. So it will be back. I don't know if it makes it this patch or the next one, but as soon as we can, when it's safe. I'm going to remake the aggregation so the players are not forced to all play like tanks. I mean, as you know, again, with Necro, we get a lot of more options all of a sudden. So with every patch that gives play styles, different types of professions, magic schools, etc., all of that obviously gives more options and tools to use when it comes to fighting mobs in different ways. Slappy Joe with the nation, thank you very much. Junk crashes are pretty bad. Crash leech once an hour, and if I'm in water, I'm lost every time I try to swim with a horse. And chance of this being fixed soon. Yes, that is also on that list that I said that is heavily focused. So we have a few client crashes that are commonly occurring. The jungle area, we found 2 different ones. We have fixed one of them. So I can't say for sure which, if this was that one we have fixed. I believe we still have 1 left in the jungle area. And then I also think we have a chest crash that also happens somewhat frequently. That is also on the list. So for sure, like I said, this polished focus patch will cover all of that stuff. Will undead creature like miners and spiders be available on Necro release? Yes. So you can put any creature you kill into these ritual tables and rebuild them into a Walking Dead version. Pretty much all creatures. When a ritual altars do you put next to Medulli? None. So everyone can get the portal ones, right? So everyone can start playing around with that as long as you obtain it and have the skills and component for it, that is. And then you'll be able to obviously also buy and place them in your house, like I mentioned. And the third one will be in very specific areas that is bound to whatever this is in a logical way. So you'll figure it out when the patch arrives. So should we wait for Epic Game Launch to get some play around? So the short answer is yes. The more elaborated answer is that, so if we look at some common sense here and some facts, we are aware of what bugs are pestering the game right now. We have the list, we have identified all of that. We looked into the player feedback, what is pushing players away or just annoy the crap out of them in different ways. That is not acceptable, obviously, for our game. We need to solve that as soon as we can. So that is a high prioritized order that we're going to focus on now. With that fixed, so people can play the game, enjoy the game, and don't suffer due to such issues or bugs, that's when we reached an important milestone, obviously, in one way. And then we also have identified and worked quite a bit with new player experience. What is how is a new player playing from Haven to Mirland? And we found a very clear pattern when a new player kind of drops interest or simply doesn't know what to do next. If they're not joining a squad or a guild, that is a very high efficiency to get player aboard on the game. But without that, there is a gap at a specific part in the game, which we have identified and know without a doubt, if we can work on that gap, there will be a much better returnation for new players to get into the game and know more about the game and get interested in different areas and becoming a more constant player. So that is also a very important milestone or a component that we are working on. The capacity and server stability is another one that we've been working on pretty much non-stop since release, to make sure that we have a complete full picture, so we know exactly where we're standing, what we can cover without any issues, and have those sets. And also, like I said, we are working on a plan to make sure that we can scale very quickly if needed. We have, we're taking some important step also content-wise, but also tech-wise, as moving over to Unreal 5, as mentioned, which is a more important step for us to take now when we are figuring things out, that we see that we can actually make use of most things in the engine, which is awesome. And also it helps us to solve a few things that is kind of bottlenecking in engine 4 of our game. So obviously all these things being in place will highly increase the chance of a new player getting into the game and experiencing it polished, and have a much higher chance also of enjoying it and actually understanding the game. A new player shouldn't have to ask, what the hell do I do in this game when I leave Haven? What do I do? What's next? And we often see veterans responding, use your brain, it's a sandbox. It's true, and many players are used to having this handheld guide, like most theme park MMOs like World of Warcraft, etc. But obviously we can do things better in terms of giving them solid options and information, so they don't have to Google things or ask other players, and actually, okay, I can play around with these things and areas at least. And while they do that, they get introduced to more and more areas of the game, which hopefully, gets them more hooked and interested, without having other players actually recruiting them at all times. So I hope that makes sense as well. And obviously all those numbers points in a better growing player population base, which is something we all want in the game, right? So we're not here to quickly rush in panic, try to add something cool and crazy to get a new influx of players, just to get them, pissed off after a while if they see, why are people running in the ground in keeps, and why is he hitting with an invisible weapon? We can't have those things, obviously. No matter how good and cool features we add to the game in a released environment, even though they think that is cool and super fun, those bugs and issues will always come back and bite us in the end. So it's important we're here to fix that, take a step back now, make sure we fix that, polish that, and then implement those great features that many are waiting for, anticipating, and make sure they are solid. That's how we grow and make sure we can run this game for many years to come. And like I said, our goals are to look at the player numbers, at that year and the next year and so on. Not just, oh my God, we have a low down now, panicking, everyone is screaming, someone trolling, game dead, even though we're not in that state yet. We're taking our time. Just like if we were to release the game a second time now with Epic Games as a milestone, we want to make sure we learn from everything we went through when we released initially on Steam. And, hopefully things will show that we're stepping up the game with an even improved team, more developers, new working structure in place to make sure we deliver stable things, and let the game speak for itself. Just like many other games, Rust, Elder Scrolls, No Man's Sky, different types of releases with few numbers or overhyped in different ways, and struggling hard at release, and then after next year and next year, just growing very rapidly from there by obviously showing a great product. That's have always been our focus and goals as well. We never, thought to release and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, and then we move on to something else. That's never been the plan. The plan has always been to release and then keep improving and build on the game for many years to come. And if things are not moving in the right direction in a year or so, after all these plans and things we have identified based on real player interaction in the game, then obviously we need to reconsider, what direction we may want to take. But I think that it's quite clear what everything is pointing on right now that we need to focus on and work hard on, and then just let this game speak for itself. And there will be so many great features over the coming month and years that hopefully brings in a lot of players. So it's not a quick sprint. It's a marathon, many years to come. I hope it makes sense, at least, what we are planning on here. '90s. Yes, there are several quality of life functions along with the polish and bug fixing. Some of them touch bases and go hand in hand, and yes, for sure. Many of those are also quite quick for us to implement. It's not a huge feature or so. So yes, we plan to do that as well. My biggest wish for Star Wars is for you to grow 3x as big. The only issue for me with this game right now is the length between update times. But with more people, more animators, better workflow, hopefully that will speed up exponentially. Yeah, I mean, there are not many MMO games or almost game overall that have a patch every second week or so as a regular state. And we showed you insane light speed of delivery of content and features throughout the whole beta, pretty much. But now when we are growing and we are in a live environment, then it is so important that we have stable patches, which means we can't just focus on the deadlines at that point. We need to focus on deliver solid stuff. But yes, our goal is also to keep on growing very steadily and under control. And obviously with a growing player base population, that also allows us to keep pushing those numbers, expanding the team in a controlled environment. So for sure, over time, that's still the plan to continue going for. Can this game handle 88 people in one place? Are you drunk? We have had the greatest record in any melee battle history during the combat beta with close to 400 players on the screen. I was running around with 30 FPS, which is doable, playable in that insane scale. And the hit trace and hitboxes being next gen like no other MMO, like 10 times more sophisticated. Those are amazing numbers. So there's nothing else that get close to that I know of, including the giant companies that reached out to us when we were doing that holy shit, what are you guys doing? This is an exciting project, and open those doors. But like I said, we have a very set mind where we want to deliver and where we don't want to head when those doors gets opened and discussed, if you know what I mean. Currently, at least. I think you're right. If I'm streaming and playing a normal session, there will be chaos. But it's been fun. When I did it in the Comet beta, or around the beta, the normal beta, team came and some team wanted to play team up and do stuff, but it often ended up in guild conflicts. But it was fun in different ways. Lightspeed, yes. Ask anyone what we did every second week throughout the beta. It was quite insane. And quite impressive it worked that well with that warp speed in place. It went from a combat simulation to a whole game experience in just a few months. And we deliver on like 90% of all those deadlines that we set up every second week to get the content in there and then polishing on that. But surprisingly stable when we deliver those. But a lot of that was also tested in, like I mentioned, for months and years in the old game. Now we're also reaching new areas, which obviously forces us to be much more careful and going through the different development stages. Eve had a fight with 7k people, yes, but comparing Eve Online, you know, starships as a dot on the screen, comparing that with a quite high detailed character model with real traces from your weapon to any of your body parts, calculating how it hits with what weapon type, with what armor type, all that in real time with 100 players around you. It's something different than you do in a game like EVE Online. I played EVE Online many years as well. I know exactly that they support big scales of war, but it's so different from Mortal Online battle that it can't even compare. It's also automated fighting systems in EVE, as you know. You hit a target, you click the attack buttons or any of those functions, and it auto shoots. Everything is predetermined of the outcome, pretty much. It's nothing like Mortal Online where every swing or every action in real time makes a difference. So, but yeah, obviously it's impressive with spaceship battle having 1,000 of people. It's a cool game. I enjoyed it for quite a few years, but yeah, quite different. And about 50 players. Obviously, it depends on your computer as well, right? And this is a next-gen visual MMO, a large world without any instancing or loading on real land, which obviously puts some demand on the computer. But with that said, I'm sure many of you in here can, share their experience that what the performance is on their computer, even though it's not a next-gen computer. But we're quite happy to see the performance we have currently. But sure, there's still room for improvement. But we put most of our juice on the player cost. So the more player on the screen, the less they cost. Rather than going to a highly detailed city, it can actually cost a lot more than a huge battle scene. So obviously there's more room where we need to improve performance. But I've yet to see other MMOs in the different category that have better base performance with proper visuals. Why aren't you online? I'm playing White Talk because I'm a little distracted and not in the gameplay mode when I'm sitting with some work topics environment and doing the streams. We're gonna do a giveaway soon and having some chat about the different systems and showing some stuff. But there will be gaming sessions as well. Again, I've done different types in the past, and I plan to revisit gaming sessions again soon. Like someone said, I will most likely be sniped. Someone will find me, but that's fine. Lord British, indeed. Should we do the giveaway, guys? Are we up for one? I'm way behind again, guys. Sorry. I'm scrolling down a little bit. Mortal. That's another multiplayer game, not the MMO. Very different category of technology that is compared. But yeah, Mordau is cool. Anuksa with the beats. Can you confirm if the spirit bosses are the ones that have more than 8 orbs? On the other of the game. There should be, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't checked into the data, but there should be different ones that offers high tiers. Yeah, pathing in House of Strongholds is one of those AI pathing polish on that list as well that I mentioned, where we do go through polish and bug fixing. We know exactly what is happening, what goes wrong. We know how we need to fix it, but it needs to be go through that development time. One second, I'm gonna set up the giveaway, guys, so we can do that one. Okay, it's up, guys. Explanation mark MO2. Write it now. If you wrote it too early, you can rewrite it to be in. Alright, can we have at last Uvu? Did you watch Wolfside stream summary video? I just very quickly went through it. I didn't saw all of it. I was in a little rush when I saw it, but I saw there was something about the Uvu. Will players who stayed too long in Haven be kicked out? So down the road, I'm not sure when this will be yet, but we have kind of agreed on or see that it's a good natural progression to actually allow players to eventually play on Haven for free, to test the game and see if it's something they will enjoy, and then obviously to start playing it for real. Leaving Haven will be that's when you're required to invest getting the game. So that will most likely happen later when we're done with everything we need to cover the first X amount of months. With that, there will be some natural limitations on Haven for sure, in terms of maybe skill limitations and clay limitation, how much you can progress on Haven, because obviously it's meant to be an introduction to the game, and you can stay there as long as you want to practice and learn, but obviously the real game starts when you leave Haven, and that's also where you should fully master things, not on Haven. So there will be adjustment for sure. Yeah, naming and dyeing bags is a good suggestion and a good quality of life that is on the list as well. I'm not sure in what patch that may be suitable, but yes, it will be. What is your favorite show and why is it Battlestar Galactica? It's not Battlestar. um, what is my favorite show? Good question. If you're looking back a few years, the first show I got hooked in and really enjoyed the most was Lost. Really, really cool show. That's kind of started it all. And then in more modern time, I think Game of Thrones is a masterpiece, except the last season, which is a catastrophe. What the hell happened? The Boys is pretty cool. Pretty cool. What else? What else? Stranger Things is pretty cool. Pretty cool. What do you think, guys? What's your favorite show? What? The Boys? Sometime. Yeah, The Boys is pretty cool. Pretty cool show. Firefly. I haven't seen Firefly. Dark. I agree. Dark is really cool. I was surprised how good it was, actually. I got really hooked in Dark as well. Movie. That's a different topic, Arcane. But yeah, Lord of the Ring is for sure one of those. One of the best one, I agree. Even season 4 and 5 of Lost. There were a few, right, that kind of felt like they were just adding because of adding. And then sometime, what the hell happened with that? Wasn't that supposed to be a follow-up on that? Let's skip it and continue. But overall, I think Lost was a good show for sure. One of the first best one. The Office. Yeah. Gemma says Dark. Yeah. When I first started to see Dark, it was dubbed. And then I found out, what the hell is this? It was such a difference when I finally got it to be the sound in Germany. So it, didn't feel dubbed. So then I enjoyed it even more. But yeah, I really enjoyed Dark. It was a cool show. Twin Peaks. The old one, or what? Star Trek. Yeah, I never got much into Star Trek. I was more stuck in the Star Wars universe. Sacrifice, thank you very much for the sub. Kenobi, I haven't seen, I think it was a little sad when LucasArts sold Star Wars to Disney. It lost its soul. I mean, the 3 newer movies that he made was obviously not good, right? The 3 old ones are the golden gems. But the new ones from Disney, I don't like those that much either. It's like it dropped its soul. I saw the first Star Wars not too long ago and I thought, holy shit, it's quite dark and crude and, deep. Which the new ones are not at all. So I was really disappointed of the direction of the new Star Wars movies. I can't really enjoy them as much. So I haven't actually given Kenobi a chance yet. I hear a mixed reaction of Kenobi. Beastmaster is on hold for now and will be added in one of our upcoming patches. And you will see it on the roadmap. I'm not sure exactly where it is, because of the reason that I mentioned before. We need to fix those serious bugs that are annoying everyone sooner or later. So yeah, it will come soon, and we will have it on the roadmap. Yeah, you can't create as it stands now, if I'm not wrong, you can't create a maxed pet when doing rituals. They need to mold over time. So you need to spend some time on them as well. No, I can't say exactly when arrow crafting is coming either. Fletcher is on that list, and again, there's so many good things on his list that some of them that we haven't really started on, or some of them we want to rebuild a little bit from the first game. Depending on all that, we have a specific prioritized order on them, but we haven't gone through that one yet. Those were only meant to be 3 seasons. Makes sense, right? They filled out a lot of stuff, but I think it was good. When will pole sword and pole axes get their buff? What about special abilities for weapons? So pole axes, we don't have as clear direction that it needs a buff. Pole swords do, however. So, we're careful. We're taking small steps when it comes to balancing weapons. And the special abilities for each weapon group, we don't have them in a specific date either. It's on that list on the roadmap. It needs to be placed in some of them. So I can't really say more accurately at this point. Do you feel like you're having to focus more time on new content or fixing bugs? Fixing bugs right now. So 100% or 90% is polishing and fixing bugs now for some of the upcoming patches. So everyone can see that finally those annoying bugs is gone. And it's a requirement for us to be able to grow again in the future. Start marketing, because again, if we invest in marketing, influencers, and starting with our partners again, if the majority experience bad bugs, then that will not be a good investment, right? So we'll fix those, and then that investment will be more worth it. Twin Peaks old and new. Yeah, I never saw those actually, so I can't say. Yes, crossbows is one of the weapon groups that are on the upcoming roadmap somewhere. And news and a full fix for chests and houses. That is also on the bug fix that I mentioned that we're working on in the upcoming patches. So pretty much any of those bugs that have been mentioned so far is on that list and will be heavily focused on, and we'll work on them till we have solved them. That is our upcoming patch and patches even. Yeah, we may add information like weeks, but we have most other stats, so we may as well add those as well. Breaking Bad, indeed, that's a good one. Sopranos, Peaky Blinders. Ozark. There's one Ozark as well, right? I think Ozark was pretty good as well. I haven't seen the latest though. It sold long before that. I think after the 3 original ones, it lost its souls, right? Even though it was LucasArts, but it went a whole new direction, I think, with Disney. So yeah, it's a little bit sad we couldn't really get back to the old. I was hoping that Disney could do something epic, going back to the roots. But yeah, went a different direction, I think. High School Musical, the musical series. Alright. True Detective. I haven't seen that one. Black Sails, I saw. It's pretty cool as well. Pretty cool. I did enjoy Vikings a little bit more, so I watched Vikings, but I was a little bit surprised how it ended, and I think that's it, right? They stopped it without having a proper ending, which was a little sad, because I liked Vikings quite a lot. And now they're doing a new Viking, right? Valhalla or something. Gnome is okay, not on par with the Mandalorian. Good enough to pass some time. Okay. Yeah, I watched Mandalorian. what was decent, I think, but I don't know, missing something. Felt like it was made for a little bit younger audience as well compared to the original Star Wars. But yeah, all right. Rather it be delayed than broken, indeed. We. I think the majority is on the same page there, even though, of course, there will be complaints and it's annoying. We have to wait on anticipated, long awaited features. But yes, we all agree pretty much on it's better that we have a proper working structure and deliver solid patches without introducing game breaking bugs. So that's what we're hoping to show the world with the upcoming patches. Kenobi sucks. All right. Showing fun out Dexter works point 116. Yeah, like I said, I think we will show stats because we're showing most auto stats, and it kind of makes sense and helps the player to see what's going on. Some of the things, especially on decimals, are impossible to test out, so we may be looking to adding the displayed stats. Do taming skills affect necropets? No, not the taming. Pole axe is incredible strong. Best 1-1 weapon and fundamental group utility. Yeah, like I said, we don't have any indication that pole axes need buffs, but pole swords, there are indication of pole swords need some adjustments. I want a giveaway. I haven't pulled it yet. So anyone joining in, explanation mark MO2, and I will pull it in 2 minutes. So Beastmaster will give you two things. One, along with the higher skills, it unlocks certain attacks on your beast, so it can actually use some new attacks that it can't without Beast Mastery. But it also gives, this is the new function that we were missing in the first game. It also gives you the player skills involvement with your skills. So if you're good at reading how you play with your pets correctly, you will utilize specific attacks and behaviors on the pet to make it much more useful. And if you fail on those, it will be, distracted, scared, or kind of be even weaker. So that's the interesting component, that we're actually adding player skills for the tamer profession finally. So it's more exciting, fun, challenging, but also rewarding when you do things right, because there are powerful creatures in the game world that you can control in different ways. But obviously an important key component here to utilize them well is by having proper player skills as well. User remodels were bad of original Star Wars as well. You mean the same movie? They just made them in better quality. Rogue One, I agree. I think that was probably the best one out of those. That was pretty decent. Mortal TV show. How? How do we make a mortal TV show? Star Wars is best beside the sequels. Shrek 2, great movie. Indeed. Vikings ended when Ragnar died. I agree. It wasn't really the same soul again, I guess, when Ragnar died. But I think it was pretty good anyway. With what was his name? The Iron Boneless. What the hell was his name? Boneless something. Was pretty cool. But yeah. Last Kingdom is similar to Vikings. I heard about Last Kingdom. I think I saw one episode, but I didn't really get hooked. But yeah, I guess it's similar. Looking forward to the Lord of the Rings TV shows, guys. Hopefully, they will be good. You want to talk about the game? Sure, ask away. Dexter. Yeah, I saw a few episodes of Dexter. Was decent. All audience liked with Jar Jar and Ewoks. Jar Jar. Yeah, the Jar Jar wasn't that successful, right? The Ewoks was cool though. I mean, the movie Ewoks. I remember when I saw it when I was a little kid. I love those movies, the two Ewok movies. A little scary because I was so little, and it was cool to see them again in the original Star Wars movies. The connection there was really cool. Yeah. Why Rise by Wolf? I saw that one as well. Yeah, pretty interesting indeed. But the ending of the season 1 was very trippy. Can't say if we're patching next week, but we're getting closer and closer for sure. There's a few things we still want to iron out, so we are fully covered and stable. Wanted to like Vikings, but I just can't get over the direction of the History Channel has taken. I missed the Engineering and Empire series. Yeah. Did you see 11/22/63? What? No. Dual wielding, I can't say when it's coming. We haven't begun, fully testing what we can do with it even. So, but it's one of those weapon groups that will come also. But I don't know yet. The Leftovers is an amazing show. The Leftovers, have I even heard about it? I must have missed that totally. I don't know. Have anyone seen the Halo show? I haven't. Is it worthy? Possibly get more information about statuses in the game. Example, in the game itself, having the information about how to acquire strength. Yes. We have discussed one of the things that are missing and will be helpful for new players is exactly this, right? We added a journal system that are kind of endless for any upgrades in the future. This is one of them, right? Like a wiki information in different ways. Tutorial stuff. So yeah, we have some plans to help there. We have identified some of those being linked with the gap for new players. An info box here on Twitch still says get a beta access now. Oh shit, have I haven't really seen how it looks on the channel. Yeah, I may have out of date. Where the hell do we have that? That picture. I see. Yeah, need to change the picture. Thanks for pointing that out. All right, last few seconds. Exclamation mark MO2, and we're pulling it. Everyone already have few accounts. Maybe you can start some in-game giveaways next time. In-game giveaways? How would I do that? Jump in-game and give them instead of here. Right, I'm jumping down, guys. Up to date here. Mortal TV show. Can you elaborate on domination? What do you mean by player skills? So the domination is the component for you to dominate the creature, like the magic way taking over a creature. That's why you can tap into a spider's brain and command it rather than a tamer. You can't tame a spider to follow you. So there's the difference of how you obtain a creature. The tamer can also obviously train the pet and sell it and trade it to other players, while a dominator can't. So it's a more magical way of taking control of a creature with domination. But then they have a shared skill, which is the beast mastery. And that's where I meant the player skills will be evolved. That for you to tap into unique specific behaviors and attacks that these creatures will offer you, you need to perform them in a correct way. Time them properly at the right distance, right moment, and their different cooldown, etc. That's where the player skills come into play. How you choose to use these special commands for your pets. And if you use them poorly, there will be a penalty. And if you don't use them at all, it will just stand there and do very basic attacks like, any attack. Iva the Boneless, that is correct. I'm way behind, guys. Iva the Boneless. Björn Ironside. Indeed. Ivar och Björn. Alright, here goes the giveaway then, guys. Do you like anime? Not that much. I haven't really got into that and find something worthy, even though I have a few friends that says there's some really cool stuff. I did watch a little bit of, what is it, Robots Love, and what the hell was it called on Netflix? There's some anime in those episodes. Very short movies, but pretty cool and interesting. And some of them are being produced fully in Unreal 5, which is pretty cool. And one of my friends have been part of producing some of that, so it's pretty cool. The Vikings wear mascara ruined it for me. I'm not sure if they did use stuff like that in real life. I'm lacking the historical field. Mats, whoever, he knows the stuff when it comes to that. First episode was horrible. In Halo or what? What series? Halo show was trying to kill the franchise. Oh, holy cow. 2 out of 10, holy shit, is it that crappy? When I saw the commercial, it looks like it had decent quality VFX, but yeah, only takes you so far, right? It's not worthy. Too sad, I was hoping to slow watch some of that. I love wikis. Wikis are good. That is pretty good unless you're a purist. I hear it strays from original storyline. If you do not know shit about it, it's great. Well done, good story, great production. Oh, okay. I played obviously the first Halo games, which was pretty awesome back then. I had such high hype. I was so excited for Halo, but then, shit, how was the story again? I remember when I first heard about the developers creating it and showcasing what it should be, and I was so hyped. And then they sold to Microsoft, right? Bungie. And that changed, and I got sad. But it was still a good franchise, right? But wasn't really what they were making originally. Right, here goes the giveaway, guys. I'm almost forgetting. Let me start it. All right, here goes. Good luck, everyone. Here we go. Boom. What the fuck? Wait, I'm missing a file. This is what I was fiddling around with before I started, since my hard drive crashed. Wait, am I missing here? Yeah, it was on my old drive. Let me see if I copied that one over. Okay, I found it, guys. Here we go. Rolling in the river. All right. Giveaway time, guys. Good luck, everyone. Good luck. Let's see. You get it. You see it now? Yeah. Who will it be? It will be goal. Congratulations. Boom. Goal is the winner. Cool. Congratulations. Are you in here, my friend? Rigged. Goal with a specific amount of dots. Let's see who it is. Who's the real one? Tricky name, right? Holy shit. Why do I have 10 goals in the chat, guys? Someone trying to cheat or what? I'm a little suspicious. Are we trying to cheat, guys? We don't like cheating. Let me see. Or do we have more goals? Or did I miss see it? Guys. Why do we have more than one goal? Goal, just copy with control copy. Yeah, I did. Are you the right one with the right amount of... Write me a DM and I will compare the copy. Jeff Dumpster, we ban all cheaters in the game. Stop trolling. Like I said, it's like an insult. It's like someone going to my house and put a dump of crap on my porch or in my house? Do you think I will allow that? It's my living and my life work. Don't be stupid. Write me a DM goal and I will compare with the winner nickname. Here. Odd enough, isn't Crimson? Crimson been nice today. Ghoul, are you here? Goal, if you check your DMs, you should have one from me now from Mortal Online. Like a whisper in here in Twitch. Right, there you are. You saw it, right? Goal. If you saw my DM, goal, can you respond in the main chat? Yes, if you got my message. All right. Let me give you the key then. 1 second. There you go. Ghoul. Congratulations for the key. Are we impatient? Pursue all key news. Like I said, I'm not a pro streamer, guys. Bear with me. Great. Oops. Henrik, this game rocks. I've been having a blast. Awesome to hear, noobs online. Awesome to hear. Are you new to Mortal Online? Or are you coming from the old game, or are you totally new? Is the question. Henrik isn't a pro streamer. Absurd. Absurd indeed. Don't let the bird fool you. He's not a pro streamer, guys. Indeed. Shinul, is there a plan to make race change option even if it costs real money on the website? Not at this point. Totally new, about 8 days in. Awesome, noobs online. I hope players are nice to you and being helpful, because the game can be somewhat overwhelming when leaving Haven, and it's a rough world. There's rough players too, and many dangerous creatures, but there's also a reward to be obtained. So happy you like it so far. And will you say your beard will give +1 charisma or +1 armor? Good question. Maybe +1 against bee stings. No news on fist weapons at this point, no. +1 against trolls. Good one. Indeed. Bee stings. You catched it, right, Anuxa? You catched it. You were the only one. You know those bee stings. But Henrik's beard is an Ogimium amulet. That is correct. Condemn ritualism. No. I can't demo ritualism, and I'm not sure if we plan to do any showcase of that. That's one of the parts that is new for Necromancy that we want players to explore and figure things out. So I only showed, just briefly mentioned how it's going to work, and I showed the different oops. So this is the user interface for the two different types, and there will be more recipes. This is two of them. And then we have the actual ritual table that you place. This is the portable one that you can place anywhere in the world, pretty much. Same rules as in placing the other portables. So this is the one you use when you want to raise a undead horse, for instance. And as you can see here, it's the right one if you want to create a ritual horse, undead horse. You put the horse characters in and something from any other creature, and then you have two modifiers to create your undead horse. You'll be able to build a house in the new necro place for RP purposes of making necro cult. I mean, you can always place a house nearby anything in the game, but there are some limitations where we don't want buildings to be constructed. Does that mean bonfires will be craftable when the necro system is implemented? No. Campfire construction comes with a combine tool that we're working on. So as soon as we enable the combine tool function, you'll be able to build that and many other things. These portables are the same function as any other portable table or anything like we have in the game currently. So you can get this one as well, which obviously is meant for houses, keeps, strongholds. And this is more a permanent status. So if you're a necromancer and want to fill around a lot and you have your home base, this could be a good table to place and start experimenting with undead creatures. Ritual horse be better than regular horses, otherwise what's the point of undead horse? So all horses have different stats, right? And including this one. So there are some base stats coming from the carcass that you're using, but this creature is damaged, dead, and lack the brain and natural living essence, which is why it gets life with magic and you controlling it. So with the specific components that you put into it and relation to your skills as well, it will have different modifications. So you can modify these horses depending on what stuff you put in when you're creating it. Yeah, horses have many stats. We haven't just displayed them, like turn speed, acceleration, deacceleration, max speed, stamina, stamina regeneration. There's quite a list. And obviously all of them in game have differences on all these. Hit points obviously as well. Natural defense. Can you explain the candle trophy slot? Are trophies required to summon? So we look at the right table here. You have a ritual candle slot. You need a ritual candle. So you need to place it there. And then you have two carcass slots. One is the main carcass. So that determines also what kind of creature you're raising again. The other carcass slot is a modifier. So you can modify the stats of that creature. So for instance, you can create a spider based on additional troll carcass. So it gets some strength from the troll. And then you have the artifacts to the right and the gem type to the left that also have a magical impact on improving or changing this pet you're raising. So obviously the better or specific type of artifacts and gem you put in it, it will have different types of bonuses. Want to create the best piglet? Imagine a troll piglet. Or a spider pig. Spider pig. Spider pig. Indeed. Spider pig is doable. But we don't have the 10 millions of combination where you get spiders out of a pig. So the main carcass determines what creature it is, if it's the pig or the spider. And then there's a modification based on that other carcass type. Maybe sometime in the future we may have a crazy system to support all these thousands of combinations, visual as well. We don't have a solution for that at this point yet, though. It's quite insane. I'm gonna raise a nitro flinger so I can have aimbot buddy. Indeed, indeed. If you use the same ratio component, will you get the same results? Yes, there are specific bonuses from specific ingredients. These necropads will cause players to leave your destroying melee. What? What? Boom. Could get a weapon length infographic on crafting. I mean, there are probably room for a lot of cool quality of life suggestions down the line. We have to take a close look and see what makes sense, what fits, and then maybe, yes. But right now, as I said, we have quite a list of bugs and polish we wanna and know we're gonna cover first of all, along with delivering necromancy as polished as possible. So 1% troll and 99% terrorbird, fast as fuck troll. No, it will obviously be a terrorbird in that case, right? 99% terrorbird is a terrorbird with 1% troll skin or something. Stain, there is no date set or announced, only internal. And we're gonna keep it like that because of, past history shows us that whenever we delay because of for good reasons, fixing things, polishing things, it's never, received happily. So rather than annoying or making people frustrated, we will work on it until we feel that now it's ready, and we will make the announcement. Necromancy have visual indication of being certain combinations. No, like I said, there are we're made undead version of all our creatures in the game currently, but we have no system that can mix and match the different pieces and make that work animation wise. That would be a sane system. Like I said, maybe down the road in the future if we get to that, but we have quite a list of functions and features we want to obviously cover before we go to such extra additional cool stuff. But like I said, it would be quite an insane system that needs to support that kind of mix. So for now, you will get the main carcass slot will give you what creature it is, like if it's the troll or if it's the minotaur or the bear. But it will always be the necromancy, the undead version of it. So you will see it's kind of put together. It's dead, like a dead creature. And then the auto slots gives different types of modifications to your pet. We show weak spot chances in stats would enable more play styles. Yeah, like I said, we have evaluated to possibly show all those stats because we're already showing some similar ones. So we may as well show weak spot stats. It may happen. So currently we do not plan to add additional character slots. It's a conversation that always comes back. We worked very hard on trying to support a game that should be one character focused on account, where there's much more depth to experiment with on your character. So obviously it's important what race you go for, since that's the only thing you can't change in the game. Everything else can be changed, and all races and playstyles are much more playable and have much more depth. And you can also expand your character skills, since they're also split into two trees. And with additional systems like trinkets and the veteran system, you will be able to know and learn much more than you ever could on a few characters in the first game. So, and also like we said, that we don't want players to think that you should make 5 characters because you need to supply yourself. We do want to promote player trade, player interaction, because it's that type of game. It gets more interesting and exciting and fun when you're interacting in different ways with other players, and it's promoting the player market, the trade. So everything is designed with that in mind. Therefore, we only have one character slot currently. And like I said before, we have had a system on design since early development, with the mind if we were to offer another character slot, but with a shared reputation and some shared things between those characters, like their sibling or something. Also because, in the first game, in one character you may play the murderer, another one you join another guild, and, playing many things like that, adding game experience that didn't really promote the game in a good way. And also since people didn't care much about their character because they were just so narrow and there was no depth, or you couldn't, for instance, be a fighter and a crafter at the same time. So you had to create one crafter, another crafter, and one fighter, one this and that. And you didn't have the depth and investment or care that much in one character. Now you can cover all of that in one character, and then obviously, yes, we are trying to promote at least play interaction, trade, and so on. So that's how the vision and core have been since we worked on all these systems and areas. Yes, there will always be players that obviously want to have another account to play other styles and such. You know, same thing with Star Wars Galaxies. They had the same system rules. You could only play one character on one server, on one account. And you could, you have to choose the race carefully. And then you could always rechange the skills within that option. But it was the same thing. And the majority play with one character and kind of follow that design we are building the game for. Well, there will always be those that are more hardcore or simply want to do things differently. But this is at least the general design behind everything that I'm trying to explain. And with that said, like I said, we have the Diva system that we may want to revisit down the road to see if we want to do some changes to this or not. No, herding is only for animals when you're taming them. So there are specific rules when you're controlling pets for necromancy. So there's a cost for your mana when you use the normal summons, and for the rituals, those will use like the pet system where. And if you have another pet, that necropets will pretty much eat your normal pets. So they are balancing themselves out. Bullshit, most people have 2 accounts. No, far from it. So we have over, how many players do we have now? We have a lot of accounts. Most of them are obviously not active, but absolute majority has only 1 account. And the same goes for most games in the world, like Star Wars Galaxies, that have a similar system that we do. And then, of course, we have those veterans, highly active players. Many of those, yes, have more than 1 account, Some even have 7. That's extreme, but there are a very few ones that have those higher numbers, yes. But obviously, when subscription starts, also that may change to a more normal level. Can I have an undead bear and undead horse at the same time or no? Yeah, there's a cost for that. So depending on how powerful they are, that may be doable, yes. There's a cost for all undead pets. Obviously, we will follow down the road. So, as I said, we have a very clear focus right now: polish, quality of life, bug fixing, stability, capacity, and then we have the important milestones on Real Engine 5 and some of the important features to help the game grow. And then we're hitting the Epic Game platform and starting all the marketing events again, influencers, the release trailers. We have a lineup waiting for all this to start growing again. And then after that, obviously, we have a list of features we want to deliver. And then, of course, we have to revisit to see stuff like that. Naming bags. Indeed. No update on deal willing still. As mentioned before, we are redesigning it from the first game. That's why we haven't really proceed until we are more back on track with higher priority stuff. Tamer still be most OP class. No, and it isn't, and you know, obviously it depends on player skills. It's like saying, will the melee fighters be the best one? It depends on the player skills, right? If you're a good PvP or PvEer with your fighter, then obviously you may shine. Same goes for tamers. When Beastmaster's in, that's when you tap into the player skills of having effective pets or not. No date for Necro patch. Other than that, we're getting closer and closer, and we release it when we're done and feel that it's ready. So we're not setting any dates. So the Death Knights and other recipes comes with different types of ritual tables. With the Necro patch, we are only starting with the normal ritual table and a Tupilak table. And over time, there may be more ritual tables that allows you to create specific creatures with specific rules, just like the Tupilak. The Tupilak is the specific, how do I say it? You know, it goes hand in hand with the famous Necromancers. So we wanted to deliver the Tupilaks along with that, along with the dynamic ritual table as well. And then over time, there may be more types. One specific for Death Knight, for instance. Anyway, keep the good work. It's better for the game to fix bugs than adding too much new stuff. People underestimate the process of passing to Unreal 5. It's a huge milestone for the company, and some people need to update their skill. It's like new onboarding for some employees. That is correct. That is correct. Will these tables be expensive? I can't really say exactly, but in general, no. But obviously, if you want good pets, you have to invest a little bit more in terms of the modifiers. So that comes with a cost also. Yeah, I did go through Beastmaster and in a little bit more detail a moment ago. Maybe we can do a recap of that and put on YouTube, so you can go straight to that. So I don't repeat too much now when new people go in and out. But yeah, it's an important player skill component to be given for pet owners, pretty much. It's an important balance factor as well. What I mean by modifiers. So as you can see here, no, you don't see my mouse. But the right ritual table, you see there's 4 slots in the ring on the right table. So the top and bottom one is the carcass types you add to define what creature it is. in the right and left slot is, you can see there's a little gem icon and an artifact icon on the right one. Those are the modifiers that alter your stats on your creature. So the more powerful, stronger components you add here, the better bonuses the creature can get, but it's also obviously more rare and expensive to create it. There's been shares for core developers in the team, and also specific for the upcoming period as well, to make sure we have competent developers inspired and involved in the company as well. Great game. Still looking forward to next patch. Indeed, we all are looking forward to get some juicy magic options for sure. It's, I guess most players, especially new ones that are coming to and wish to play a mage in a more traditional way with, you know, you can run at the same time and stuff. It's a very frequent complaint or request to get those function. And we always said, look, you have to wait on the other schools because they're all different. The schools are very different and they have their strength, pros and cons. Finally, Necro is one of those that offers what most new players have wanted to see, at least in when playing a mage, to get some of those options. And then, of course, there are many more schools to come that will also offer a lot of interesting mage gameplay. Keep leaking, making new tunes, waiting for Staff Magic to come out. Staff Magic is a highly anticipated school as well, for sure. So, yeah. What modifiers are available? So you can tweak stats on the creatures, hit points, obviously, defense, speed, and damage types. I think there will ever be a new race ever released to play as. So we had discussions with Mats, even from very early on, what kind of future plans that would be cool and exciting to tap into eventually. And, you know, if things goes as planned and we keep on evolving, expanding, and the game is moving forward in the right direction, giving us more resources, and finally when we also added a good chunk of those features that a lot of players are waiting for, then there are room for specific cases and things that we have discussed, but obviously a lot of secret stuff here, and also way down the road, I would say, when we consider, you know, picking up that kind of design again. There are a feature that are coming a little bit early that is kind of tapping into that a little bit with, like I said, similar thing like the force sensitive slot in Star Wars Galaxies, where you can actually do specific things in the game to get the option to actually get a new type of character on your current one that gives you a whole new type of clade set and special powers that is unique pretty much in the game. And there's a few different of these types, so it's a little bit tapping into that, but much more limited. It's nothing you just choose from the character creation. There's going to be a way for gatherers to debuff necro animals without melee, like are protected from necro spell. So with the necro school, you get some very important spells against any pet in the world. Obviously, those will work against necropets also. And then there will be more and more effects into alchemy that can be used in different ways as well, that also have an effect on other creatures and pets. All right, guys. Looks like we're running out of questions, perhaps. But alchemy effects are going to extend into pets too. Yeah, so we have a huge list of effects that are planned to go into alchemy. Everything from, creating a potion that you can throw that can explode or even leave a trace of gas, and have different type of effects that if a pet breathes this in, they can also be affected in different ways. So there's quite a list going for alchemy over time. Similar way as there's quite a list of spells and magic schools over time. And also more weapon groups and special moves for every weapon group as well. So it's gonna expand over time, all of these areas. Only word about troll animation when I make them go turbo speed. So obviously there are some threshold when you create a base creature or a base that is the troll, for instance. It will have a threshold that keeps it within a reasonable frame of when it comes to hit points, strength, speed, and so on. But yes, you can modify it further. But like I said, it won't be to extreme numbers that it runs ridiculously fast and break logic and balance. You have Trinket lock and your pet does the last hit. Does it count as the Trinket lock? Ooh, good question. I'm actually not sure. That's a question for Sebastian that knows the code for it. I'm not sure if it counts as you or not. I'm uncertain. Yes, Twisted. Core team members have been since day one, pretty much have shares in the company. I would have to look into fishing rings if there's something missing, wrong, or just the combination to get them is not figured out yet. I can't say for sure without confirming or looking into it. But like I said, we are following up on all trinket drops in the world, adding a few more options and tweaking numbers when needed also very carefully. In chance we'll see cleave for the melee combat in the future. What do you mean with cleave? A special attack cleave, or is that what I mean? Every weapon group will get special attacks that have specific special bonuses, or as in hitting multiple people with one swing. Yeah. So that is actually one of them. One of the groups will have that kind of effect. So you can actually strike in an arc, and if there's two guys standing in that arc, they can be hit. Crimson, here we go again. Remove trinkets from the game. They didn't help your game like you said they would. Remove all bow items and transition them to library. No, like I said, I have a great improvement to the game, just as it was in the first game, and they're here to stay and expand. And it's a huge, lovely, desired, highly anticipated, high-rated feature, believe it or not. And if you don't like it, I can't make everyone happy. But trust me, the majority loves the trinket system, and it's here to stay and expand and be even better and bigger in the future. And that's it. Boom. Yeah, obviously, every special attack, such as the cleave, comes with a logical attack where the first one have the greatest impact, and then obviously it slows down, so the second hit will be less. Everyone loves trinkets. There's not a single player that not loves the trinkets. Not a single one. Well, I guess we have one player that don't like them. But or obviously there are those that doesn't care much about the meter. But that's fine. That's how it's gonna be with a lot of things in the game. There's gonna be a lot of items, features that people not care about, and some people gonna care about them. That's the power of a sandbox, right? As long as there's something that is fun for you, great, right? Then you have that value in return for getting the game. Obviously, if there's nothing of value or interest for you, then we don't have anything that is obviously interesting enough for that type of player. But over time, the more features and function we get into the game, the higher chance, obviously, that there's something for more players. But yeah, like I said, Trinket was a huge success since the first game, and it adds to a never-ending farming reward system, that is always there in the background and also expanding. And since it also have this special rule that it ties to your soul, it can have a lot of value and depth tied to your character, which gives you more playstyles, more fun, excitement, and a huge trade that never stops. So it's extremely high value. And yeah, we have two players that hates them. They don't have to use them and don't care, but they're here to stay and grow. And the trinkets are not unfinished content; they are finished. They are as they are. They won't change. There will be more types, though, like I said before, that we never got the time to do in the first game either. The clade specific racial trinket types. Most of the people I talk to don't like them. No, I'm not here bullshitting, Crimson. Most of the people that are communicating in regards of the trinket patch are loving them for different ways. Some love them because of the interest points getting a little bit more populated, and obviously many enjoys them because you can refine your character and expand on your character build, which have been a huge request from the player base. But like I said, you can ignore them. If you don't like fishing or trinkets, you can ignore them. That's the beauty of a sandbox game. You focus on what you enjoy and don't give a F about what you don't like. No, we explained the trinkets in terms of why everything isn't full loot in terms of when it's connected to your soul or mind knowledge, like spells. Obviously, if you will drop all your spells, your spell book, you can't play a mage, right? Obviously, we have to change everything. Like you have to go buy all the spells again, then obviously we can't build a system that builds on exploration and slowly covering the spells. Everything have to change and be rebuilt to support the different functions. So obviously we build things with a lot of thought and planning. That makes sense for throughout when we're adding all these different features and functions. I know they're trolling also when I say I hate trinkets. I mean, it's like saying I hate swords. I hate the swords. It's silly, but it's fine. Domination will be fixed. Yes, in our fixing patches. That is our main focus currently. We add streamers items to the game like Tarkov. We're looking to support our content creators and streamers when we do our secondary, our Epic Games launch with drops, and we're looking at offering some fluffy drops. And then we're also able to offer game time and stuff like that. Stuff that makes sense for us. Obviously, we can't add things that doesn't make sense when it's no pay to win or things that give you bonuses that wouldn't obviously work or be fair. But fluff works. Total love trinkets. Most people like them. Yeah, I mean, what's there not to like? Of course, they give your character an expansion. More options, and that's one of the biggest requests since we launched the game. Please give us more skill points. You will have them with the veteran system and the trinkets, and now we have the first system, the trinkets. But like I said, it's fine. You don't have to like the trinkets Crimson. That's perfectly fine. But you won't convince us to change the rules behind the trinkets when it's been such a huge success and great impact since Mortal 1 for many, many years. There were many good things and bad things in the first game. We make use of that knowledge and experience and data, or we would be quite stupid if we didn't, right? And such a huge impact on a great way, huge success with the trinket system. And we just knew where we wanted to refine it a little bit. That's exactly what we did with the trinket system. And it's been a huge success so far. People loving finding and experimenting with the different trinkets that they're finding in different ways. And again, finally they can expand on their character a little bit further as well to making interesting builds. And that's the purpose behind them. And we achieved the goal that we set up for it. So of course we're happy with that, right? When like 99% are happy with that kind of addition to the game. And over time there will be more types, as I mentioned, more effect types and Clade race inspired trinket types as well. I cannot give an update on Agmir City, I'm afraid. Scrosis. Can be more specific about artifacts. So an artifact is a magical, powerful item to be found in the world, and you will also later be able to put together different types of tupelacs with even greater power. And yeah, that's in short what the artifacts are. So they have a high value, a trade value, but also have some magical impact in different rituals and such. Starvin, if you haven't contact the support team or coffee or community manager, please do so. And we will make sure that if we have that information already, if we don't, we will add that to the information we need when we're working on the AI behaviors. Starvin Arvin, thank you. Provision advice from myself: do not listen to anything Crimson says. Secondly, what are your thoughts on 1 versus X mechanics? When a player blocks multiple players, almost instant multiple attacks, same direction, they are rewarded with the stamina back. Yeah, it's tricky. So when it comes to melee balance and functions, there are over 1,000 suggestions and different opinions in the community, which I'm sure you're aware of. So that is almost a never-ending battle and also a never-ending working area when it comes to expanding and refining and working on the melee, for instance, combat system. So we have a lot of plans further to expand when it comes to the combat system and the different melee types. But as you're fully aware of at this point, we need to take it in a prioritized order, right? So again, focusing on necro polish and fixing first until we are finally free from those annoyances. And then we have certain features that we also all want, early on in the game. And then moving forward from there, there's many different areas, such as balancing some of those areas is, possible. Also, especially since we plan to continue expand the team to be able to cover more areas simultaneously as well. So yeah, I hope that answers your question a little bit, at least for now. Mages drop their regs and gears like anyone else, but their spells are tied to the memory. You don't drop the memory in Mortal. You go to Otherworld and you go back. And Henrik, as always, thank you for taking time to stream with us. With regards to trinkets, I suggest the ability to trade trinkets in for flux or extra flux, higher grade flux. Yeah, there are also another system planned for down the road, which is the jewelry crafting system that also ties into this. Refining, melting down, and there will be more options when it comes to this. We like the trinket system. We'll love to fish up a ring, though. We have to check if it's just simply too aware of a combination or something else. And plans to change alchemy healing over time back to its old value, or is confirmation that this is a new feature, not about? The values of healing attributes should not be changed. So if that have happened, we have to look into that. So you can keep playing out. Not sure. I have a solid connection at least. Henrik, have any ideas how to add more soloable content? Would like to see more evolution on this on in game lore too. You will have it, both of it. this is one of the points, like I mentioned before earlier in the stream, we have analyzed data when it comes to new players joining in, how they perform, how they experience everything, and when they choose to log out or quit or things like that. And solo able content and understanding the game goes a little bit hand to hand for a new player that joins in that doesn't know what to do or don't want to join a group or guild at first. So it's an important area that needs to be working because it's gonna help a lot when it comes to giving new players a fair chance to try the game out for real. So yes, that is one of the area that are also being worked on along with the polish and getting closer to the bigger milestone we have entering the Epic Game platform. Can you explain a bit further what this veteran system is all about for new players? Yeah, so when we enable the veteran system, you will be able to gain certain experience in a new type of tree that allows you to distribute new type of skill points into either directed towards the profession tree or action tree, and they will cost differently. So it's another layer of pretty much expanding your character further when you are experienced enough in different ways. So that's in short what it is. So, oops. Where's the next update? So, Necro is still the next patch as the last one on our roadmap, but we don't want to set a date. We are working on balancing, fixing, polishing to make sure that it's as stable as possible. So from now on, as mentioned before, we won't really set exact dates. You will have more list of order that this patch is before the other one. You can see the order of the patch and the content on them, but we will refrain from setting the dates. But yeah, we're getting closer to the Necro patch for sure, but we want to make sure it's very polished. How will ritual summons be better than dominate pets, or will it not? So here's the balance around it. So obviously there will be very powerful pets to be tamed, very powerful creatures to dominate, very powerful pets to create as a necromancer, and then there will be other ways also into tapping into types of pets. But one shouldn't be always just naturally strong or better than another one. We try to find a natural balance here, but also have different types of use for many of these different groups. So the rituals come down to that you have to research and have the proper tools to build a good pet. So if you just put in the normal carcasses and nothing else, you will get a below average pet in return compared to when it was alive, for instance. Same thing as if it's a dominated pet. So for you to make it stronger and compete with the living ones, you need to add strong components that can be rare or expensive. So that is the kind of the balance and investment you have to do as a necromancer building a more solid pet. So just building it with the carcass will raise that troll again as it was, just, damaged and without a brain, and be quite stupid. But still a troll raising up again to fight for you, which is pretty cool. And it's a meaty beast. But again, if you want to make it more effective, you need to invest in building it with proper components that will make it stronger. I played a 995 title Ultima's 8 Pagan. I only played Ultima Lion actually, so no, I'm not too familiar with that. Yes, with the die system that we have on the upcoming roadmap, I'm not sure exactly which one it will be. You will be able to dye any soft fabric on armors and clothing, bags, capes, some capes, banners, and stuff like that. Can Trinket be used as bait? Anyone try? Have anyone tried? That's the question. There's a few things that are not marked as suitable bait, and the game says so. So you know if it's a waste or not, at least. Trinkets will be so saturated no one will even care about jewelry crafting at the end of the day. Saves us some time. So again, without knowing at all what jewelry crafting is, you jump a conclusion. This is a very popular thing to do from aggressive people that want to bash in a game and want it differently. You want your own game in a different way, and just jumping a conclusion that jewelry will be making a trinket that you can fish up today or find and loot today. And that's completely wrong, obviously. We're not making a system that will replace the trinkets. We're not stupid. So no, if you calm down and wait, try the game, explore, learn, know what's going on, so you know what you're talking about, that's when it gets more a serious conversation that, we know what we're talking about, and we can have a real conversation on what could be good or bad or improving or whatever. But that kind of status is just, again, one of those quite stupid comments without any clue about the game, no thoughts about we are working on this project, planning on it, spending many years of it. Obviously, we're not replacing one system with another system. So, yeah, strange conclusion. But again, it's not the first time, so yeah. Can please post the statistics of character race percentage in the game? That's quite interesting stats, yes, and maybe we could share some of that later on. We can look into that. All right, guys, it's been a good run as usual, and it's passing the 3-hour mark now, and I'm getting a little hungry tonight. It's getting a little late here, so maybe this is the time for me to head back. Henrik, I'm your favorite Redditor, Maleficent Quiet. Maybe you got any question for me? Maleficent Quiet. I'm not sure what that will be for questions 4T. Please release the necro spells for my character only, so I'm a god among mortals. Thanks. You're simply ignorant. To claim I'm a MMO veteran who has literally made money playing video games, has no clue about a game like this is dim. Your flagging system is low, tells me you likely never even played your own game. I don't even know where to start here. It's, again, a very stupid conclusion. Again, exactly what I just said, that, you know, sometimes it's good to wait, learn, and think before you jump a conclusion, because it's just going to make you look like a fool. And now you did it exactly again. Yeah, I never played games. I know nothing about online games. I never made an MMO. I know nothing, Crimson. And you, the almighty, know everything, apparently. Everyone else is stupid. And that's life, right? For you. But it's not for everyone else. And you have to give up now, because this is just silly and ridiculous, right? It's a little embarrassing that I'm, you know, entertaining this. So I need to stop refraining, being too nice, I guess. But it's stupid. Don't be stupid, please. Please don't be stupid. I feed a troll too much, I agree. I have too much blue salty tears here. Too much troll candy. What do I do, guys? What do I do? Just do as I did. Block him. Life happen. That's a good option. Maybe it's time soon. Maybe it's already a little bit overdue. But like I said, I'm not the moderator, and I hate to mute or kick people. It's not really my obviously. I hope that it should never be necessary. Obviously, when someone is just plain stupid and trolling and doing things that are breaking rules, that's obviously where we remove people. But yeah, then you can also be very rude and just be very stupid, like embarrassing yourself, not having a clue while discussing like a 14-year-old kid. Then obviously it's, you know, maybe it's not necessary to mute, but maybe I should stop responding to such stupidness. And yeah, he will only be back with a new account. He did that before. But yeah, we try to be civil and adults. But yeah, everyone can't be. That's life. You need to remove the people who troll month on end. It's not enjoyable for the rest, for the people who are actually still playing and wanting to know more. Yeah, I agree. Of course, our mods obviously need to make sure that it doesn't gets out of control. And you know, how hard can it be to be a little civil and act as an adult? Apparently, extreme hard for some old people, and it's shocking. But yeah, human nature, guys. He did make a point though, but did you mean his last sentence that was just jumpy conclusion again? I never played an MMO game. How many MMO have he done in his life? I played. I'm 100% sure that I played the first MMO game in the client-based world before him. Quite long before him. Should we do a raid today, guys? Let's see how it looks. All right, we got a few streamers running. Do you have any suggestions, guys? It does boost their ego, I guess. Yeah, that's right. Trying to cover and answer every question, but yeah, sometimes it gets a little on the edge of trolley. Yeah, age doesn't really confirm or secure a civil adult thought or conversation. I guess you can be acting as a 12-year-old kid but still be up in age, which is a little strange, but yeah, it's true. The flux, you obtain them the same way as in Mortal 1, Mara Bout Flux, so there's no inside take on it. It's the exact same as the first game. So I guess if you play the first game, yeah, you had some knowledge. If you didn't have that, so but there was no inside information whatsoever. Good afternoon, Henrik. How are you doing? I'm doing quite well, thank you. I am getting close to wrap it up for tonight's stream, though. It's getting a little late here. I need to grab some night snack, and I was going to see if we wanna do a little raid. If you have any suggestion that you wanna join today on. So we have Kralken, G45K, Atek, Avira TB, Rigatoni, Frostside, Hi by Jon Vimies. What do you say, guys? Jeez, I got a hiccup. Is there any particular you would like to join in today? J45, Kralken. Can also try rating people playing Chivalry 2 for more exposure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm trying to promote our amazing streamers. It feels good to try to give something back now before we can actually engage and start the content creator program later on. Let me do the traditional uvu pollen. Shall we do that? So I'm not raided. I guess that would be E-Tech, I think. Rigatoni. I haven't raided any of those. If you wanna, E-Tech is banned from most streamers' channel for reason. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Is it guild conflicts or what? What do you say about Rigatoni then? I never rated him, at least. Are we up for some Rigatoni? I don't recognize them too much. There's quite a few new ones, or fairly new ones. Go to Binadao. Holy cow, how do you even say that? I don't see that binder. And look who goes online. The troll himself insulting. Alright, let's do this, guys. Should we do a new raid then? Rigatoni. Is that what we do today? I never raided him. At least, I know. Alright, let's help Rigatoni tonight, guys. I never raided him. So let's be nice to him and join his stream. giving some tips and info, guys. I think he's quite new, right? I've seen him stream sometime before. Let's raid him and do the ubu. Rigatoni it is, guys. Right, as always, thank you very much for tuning in, and thank you so much for subscription donations. It means a lot, and thanks for having awesome conversations, adult mature conversation. I really appreciate that, and hope to see you in the next one again. So thank you very much, and here goes our raid to Rigatoni. Give him some love and some ubu. And have a good night, guys. Thank you so much, and bye bye.